One over there.
Hi Lisa, I work for a very established online community, and my question is how advertisers can leverage an established online community to grow a new community. Do you think that's detrimental to the established community, or do you think it can work?
Interesting enough, I've worked on both types of communities. So one community, I guess we called them sponsors. So we would never allow our sponsors to ever sell any of their products at all. So it's that sort of, the subtlety that you've got in the message. The idea was, with the sponsors, was that they were meant to be the thought leaders for it. So we would encourage them to write content around that. I've worked on a community for sort of 3 years. We didn't make any money from our membership. The only way we made money was from our sponsors. So it can be done. I just think you need to really, really watch who your sponsors are. And personally, we said no to quite a few sponsors because they just didn't get the community, and all they thought they could just pump out their marketing messages, and we wouldn't allow it. So any of their content that was put up there, so any of their white papers, we would edit out any of their sort of stuff that was in it. If we did any webinars or web chats, we would actually review all their content beforehand as well, so all their PowerPoints, and literally I jumped on them like a ton of bricks.
But you wouldn't say allow them to recruit your members to join their community, because I think we get that quite a lot, where people probably want to leverage our community to recruit them because they're trying to grow an online community.
But then, I don't know, it just seems to be, well, whose community is it then?
Yeah.
So I would try and stop them from doing that. So okay.
Cheers. It's an interesting question. Have you ever seen examples of two communities working synergistically and very well together?
I'm just trying. Some of the B2B SME ones seem to work out. But I think it's more that there's that commonality between the sort of sponsors to do it. But I guess it just depends on what maturity they're at of these communities. It's sort of, there may well be a community that's more for different types of people. So maybe there's sort of, it's that level of engagement. But I haven't really seen two that sort of work that well together, to be honest. So
I want to steal your question for a second. Yeah, because the reason I asked was the Cortex. Was it Cortex? Was the period one? And the doctor, or whatever. I was thinking that could be an interesting kind of juxtaposition of communities where they could. The movie evolved. So I was just wondering whether you've seen that before.
No.
Hi, my name is Jenny, and I'm working in retails. If people like our product, they try to join the community, or even they create the community by themselves. But if people don't like the product, they can complain on the community, or they can build a community like anti-buying the products. Then how would you handle the people who complain about the products or anti?
See, I would rather have people complain about my product in my community, because then I can deal with it. Because they've opened themselves up. They want to have a dialogue with the company about whatever the issue is. I have the chance to influence them and change their opinion about it. Now, it's not necessarily it's going to be me as the community manager, but the other members that love that product so much are actually going to talk positively about it and their experience. Whereas if it's taking place over here, I can't really go and sort of help them there. I'd have to ask my members to go off and do it. You're always going to get the bad with the good, but I think the fact that they've come into your community and they've said, okay, I'm having this problem, it gives you that opportunity to get in there and talk to them about it. It's far better than they just said, well, I just threw it away and I thought it was a rubbish product. So, thank you.
Anybody else?
Can you hear me? Okay.
Can't see.
That's so talking. You mentioned that you made a transition from being a journalist into social media. I just want to know how you made that transition. Was you online? Did you do online journalism before, or how did you get to yourself to the decision where you know what you know in order to be running a company?
Okay. For my sins, I was a paper journalist, so we didn't really do much online journalism, so that's why I managed to I moved into the online bit, and then basically decided that we needed, it was politically, in order to stop the online bit of the paper being sort of taking away, breaking the news from the actual weekly magazine. That's why I was called a community manager to differentiate me. But in the end, what it turned out to be was that I did online journalism because we did different things that we did online that you couldn't do in the paper. So the idea was that, you know, if the CEO of Compact came over, yes, everyone writes that printed interview with him, but I would actually go and film him, or I would do an online chat with him. So that's sort of how I made the transition from it. And I guess sort of community-wise, I think I was just lucky that no one else wanted to do it within our organisation, so I sort of took it on. And yeah, I think communities, you know, there are basic principles, but sort of communities and social management is still sort of so early on in its existence that does it really matter if you do something wrong? No, we're all learning by our mistakes. I don't think there are any hard and fast rules. I think there's some basic guidelines, but nobody's cracked it yet. There's nobody sort of standing up and saying, oh, I've got the answer to all the social media problems out there. I think, you know, fundamentally we're all still trying to drive, you know, is there ROI for this? You know, how am I going to make all my members active for it? So hopefully that helps answer your question.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was brilliant.